All right, everyone. Good evening. Good evening once again. Good afternoon, depending where you're joining us from. Welcome. This is our French Mastery Insights live workshop. So I know a lot of you are really diligent about making sure whenever we're doing anything live, you see teachers will be there and you get to ask questions. You make sure you're in the room. So you're my kind of parents. For those that don't know me, my name is Elise. I am the founder here at the French Tutor, and today's a special one. Okay, today's a special one because every couple of months I try to bring our educators into the conversation. Okay, it's one thing for us to have our conversations or you to have your conversations with your child's teacher at school, but sometimes it's important to get a broader perspective. What is happening in this French second language world? So that's what this conversation is going to be about. Okay, we know for a lot of you, this was the last week of school, is the last week of school. So
Yeah.
it is time for our teachers to share what really went on this school year. Okay, what went on in your classrooms? What did you observe? And we'll kind of use that to have a conversation, not just about their observations and what challenges for French students came through, but use that at the same time as an opportunity to offer parents some solutions. So I have three incredible teachers on the call with me. Not only are they with the French tutor, but they actually work in the school system. So that's why they're here today. And we want to make sure you guys are getting access to them. So if you're in the room, this is special. This is really special. So I'm going to have perhaps in this order, Nezreen, Maisa, then Anne, just do a quick intro of yourselves and we'll jump right in, okay?
So it's for me, it's always, even in the class, the problem is the oral communication. For example, sometimes they said to me, even if they are in the say, Viamonde is a French school, so they supposed to speak only in French. So sometimes they say, "Oh, I can't find my words in French. Can I say it in English?" No, you can't. I help them to find. And during the recess also, and in the cafeteria, they are speaking English. Then last time I told them, you should speak French because we are a community and we need to be like big community and this will help us in the future. And I start showing them how important French is to have more friends, to be one community. And every time I repeat the same speech, and sometimes it works, yes, because we think they are kids, but they are not. They understand what I'm telling them.
And Maisa, tell us quickly, how long have you been teaching and where are you teaching right now? Just so we have some context.
Yeah, 3 years in Viamonde, and before I was teaching in my country French language for English and French students. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah,
Amazing. Thank you. So we'll have
yeah.
Nesreen, quick intro, very quick intro, then to Anne, and then we'll dive in deeper. Okay.
Okay. So my name is Nesreen Noureldin. I am a teacher so I teach first with the Viamonde, and then I changed region. I'm in Ottawa now, so I'm with the CEPOO. It's the same system exactly like Viamonde, public, all the way French. I've been in this system Viamonde and CEPO for about 12 years now. Um, so that's a quick intro. Um, yeah, so it's Anne now, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm Anne. I teach in the French Immersion School and I currently teach grade 3. And I've been teaching for, oh gosh, 25 years. Seems like a lifetime ago. So still loving it.
Amazing. So we're happy to have all of these incredible seasoned educators. As you guys can notice, there are teachers who are teaching in the Francophone school board. So know that in across Canada, there's different school boards. So some are full French focused, others are French immersion. Okay, so think of that as we're learning and discussing, and keep your questions, all right, for your child's situation. This is for you to get your answers. So I want to go around the room and just kind of ask to all of our teachers, just to share some quick Mike's already got started, and that is amazing. Just share some quick observations, like what stood out to you as some of the main challenges that students, French students, had this school year.
So I can begin if you're okay with that, and Maisa. So I will confirm, of course, what Maisa has been saying about vocabulary. Yes, there's a big lack of vocabulary we see in students. That's why they did not give them the chance to express and say all what they want. The grammar, of course, pronunciation is one of the challenges that we saw, not even in French immersion. So we see it
French.
also in French, in full
Yeah.
French too.
Yeah.
So it's not something that is like in French immersion only. I can say also lack of confidence because, and this is the main reason that they don't have vocabulary, so they don't have confidence to speak and to say what they want to say. Sometimes we see not a parental support. I can't generalize that, but I see a lot of parents that are supporting their kids, but not all the parents supports the kids too. So that's actually what we see in the classroom because of this lack of support. So we see the students struggling in the classroom. Yes, we do all what we can do to support them in the classroom and to help them, but we like to see the support of the parents too at home. So with our help and our support and the support of the parents, will make a good equation, and a combination of both of them will get a very good progress for the students.
Awesome. I'm refraining from commenting right away. And jump in, jump in.
I love what you're saying about the support from the parents. And sometimes, it's not like we're not asking you to do our jobs, because we're teachers, we're professional, and we know what to do. But having the support, and I call it the triangle, student, teacher, and parent, and it just works so much better when everybody's on board and it's a partnership. Just knowing you have that parent support just makes everybody's job easier, and the student also know that we're communicating with parents, and that makes them more accountable as well. So I think that's like number one.
Yep.
That support for sure. Completely agree with you.
I'll support what you're saying, Anna, too, and just give the people that we have here, parents, whatever. So just a small example. So let's say he did like an assignment, for example, and then he got not a high grade, but a good one. So just the praise of the students at home and say, oh, that's a good job. That's for us helping. You can't imagine that's how help us in the class. Okay. So just the encouragement of the parents towards the students about his grades, regardless if it's a good grade, it's a high grade, it's a less grade, but it's, even if they see a little bit of progress and they are praising that, that helps a lot. So that's one of the supports, for example, for the parents.
Yes. Also, like in terms of like you mentioned an assignment, like I always put a next step in all my assignment, because I say to my student, I say, everybody has something they can improve on, even me. So they know it starts with me, so they don't feel like I'm singling them out. But having the parents aware of that, what the next step is, and then they can remind a student, okay, well, remember, Madame said you need to watch your plurals. So just watch that when you write. So we're all on the same wavelength, and supporting that student to do the best job that they can.
Exactly. That's what I call it, the baby steps.
Yes, the baby steps.
Very good. And I think you both brought up really good points, because it is that partnership, right? And we always hear all the time, I don't speak French at home, or even I did French only in high school. I can't help with all this homework or this assignment. But Anne and Mesrine and Maisa, you guys would agree the parent's job is not to be the French teacher. That's we leave that to you guys, right? But the at-home praise, and I know we'll get into deeper, maybe some exact tangible techniques, resources, something we could throw out there for them to test and learn in order to see what sticks with their particular young one. So to parents in the chat, feel free to jump in and ask questions along the way because we are having a conversation, all right? So as some wheels are turning, feel free to write in the chat if things are causing a little bit of a stir and you want to get this answered live on the call, okay? So we're going to move on. So we've heard of some of the challenges. Some of the challenges stood out as what I would consider foundational, okay? So things like vocabulary, grammar, we have to do it in French no matter what. The confidence is a big one in French learning. So what would you guys then say, right? What maybe this year did you implement in your classroom to address some of the bigger challenges, regardless of what they were, as every class is different, but what would you say you could think of right now to share as a tangible takeaway that worked?
I'll start. I try to put it on the student with the parent support because in French immersion, I'd say 95% of my parents do not speak French. So then again, you're like, well, how can I help? I say, well, support your child to help themselves basically. So I use Google Classroom and I post a lot of review videos or posters that are around my classroom if they need any of that to do their work at home. So I just put it on the student because I said, parents are kind of just not able to, but at least the parents are aware of everything that is available to these kids and they can say, okay, well, remember, Madame posted this, review that video. So that's what I do. And I find having the parents on board, then the kids are most likely to actually check out the resources you've posted.
Yeah, I do the same. I post also some links. I send some links, and then I start this in the classroom then they would be interested. And when they are interested, I say, okay, I've sent this to home and you continue at home and this resource will be in your hands and you can do this with your parents. And we should choose something not boring for them because they are generation, they get bored a little bit. So we use some resources, different resources. Not only the traditional resources because get bored.
Oh yeah.
Fun thing.
Yeah, practice. I think, in my opinion, practice and understanding the stuff, the material, what we teach is very, very important. Interactive reading too. So there's a lot of, let's say, online apps, online websites, and a lot of things that we can go out of the, let's say, the original way to teach and get out of the norm, let's say, and get something that is interactive. Like, let's say, see a video and discuss about that video. A short story, discuss what did you like, what you don't like, what this person did in that video. Do you like him? You don't like him? Why? And just encourage the discussion. Hearing the other students talking about what we saw in the video, it gets the others to listen more vocabulary, so they can take that vocabulary and then say it in another
Context.
class or what. Yeah, so that's like encourage more seeing other pairs or other students in the class talking about this, talking about that. I encourage them saying, say whatever you want. Even if you want to say it in English, say it, and we will correct you to say it in French again. So these conversations, these discussion about whatever interest the students in class, something that we heard, let's say they love to go in the summer to Calypso. What is Calypso? Let's go and find out a video about that. So what do you like here? What do you
Yes.
like there? So just do it in the way or in the subjects that interest the student, so you can grab his attention, and now he's gonna come and start the conversation with you and start to talk about that. So I think this helps a lot, the challenge of the vocabulary. Just bring them into the discussion, let them speak, let them say what they say, what they see, what they feel, all these kind of things. So I think maybe this will help. That will help the pronunciation, because we're gonna correct them also. And then the grammar will be in the sort of assignments, something that is writing, that is sent to the parents too, so they can make sure that they can practice. The support of the parents in let them practice the stuff that we put in classroom, or the stuff that needs to be practiced for next day, I don't know, assignment next day, something like that. So this will help the student too.
Very good. And I think what I'm hearing, like, you guys are obviously amazing educators in real life, and that's why also you're on the TFT team. But what I'm hearing is stuff our parents want to hear, I believe, because what the feedback I receive is our kids aren't getting homework. What happened to homework? What happened to reviewing things at home, right? So what kind of questions would you as educators equip parents with? I always tell parents, you have the right to ask the teacher a question. Now, they can also ignore your emails, or if there's so many, it may be delayed. We don't have control over what's happening in that classroom, but they should feel empowered, I believe, to ask some questions. If there is no homework coming back, guys, or if they get a mark back, an assignment, I'm like, well, I don't know why you got 60%. I don't know why. What kind of questions can we give some parents on this call right now to ask their teachers in the upcoming school year?
So I would ask if they ask about the consistency. So is he doing his homework on time? Is he following the instructions on time? Because if he missed something, all the work will be missed. This is the consistency. This is what we miss. And then the parents come and say, why? Yes, why he took 60? It's not enough. Why he failed? Okay, but I sent to you many emails. Why he didn't do the homework when it's on the right time? Later, it's too late. Even if he's doing this later, it's too late. Or the project, he submits his project like 1 month later. Then the consistency, this is the problem of the student. And sometimes the parents also, they don't know exactly the importance of to be consistent. The student, how should do the work on time? I don't know.
Okay, so maybe they can ask the teacher, hey, what have you guys been doing, or like studying in class? Let's say a test result. You say, okay, what is the subject matter that's been going on for the last term? You know, and kind of what was involved in getting to this test, right? Like what units, what was happening for this test result in a 60? Yeah, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Anyone else?
I think as a teacher, I like to hear from parents, like, you know, how can I support you? How can I support my child? And like start a conversation from there. As opposed to like, why did he not do this? Like, you know, just start a natural conversation that is not pointing fingers. You'll get a lot further than if you say, oh, well, I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this. I like when parents are my partners in their child's education and starting the conversation in a positive way.
Love that.
As possible.
Early on. Early on
Yeah.
September, parents, get those relationship building questions and conversations with your kids' teachers. Yes, Anne? I'm
Yes.
down with that. Good plan. Nazreen, anything for that? Like, what should a parent be asking you?
Okay, so I'll answer this in a different way. So I will tell you what I will do as a parent. I'm a parent too, okay?
Yeah.
So what I do with the teacher of my kids, I have 3 kids, by the way. So what would I do? So we start the year. Everything is okay. I got the first email, the teacher introducing herself. That's what they're gonna study this year. So I have the first information. It passes 1 month, and I'm starting seeing some assignments, some grades. Okay, if the grades are in the level that I see for my kid that it should be, so okay. If not, and I see some like grades that is low, I'll start communicating with the teacher. So I've been seeing that this assignment and that assignment has been a little bit grade low that I see, and I am sure, or I am like I know the level of my kids. He could do more than that. So could you please explain to me your observations? So what do you see? Is it like the homeworks, let's say, no practice, like this and that? So the teacher can guide me a little bit of what to go find and to help my kid with. Okay, is it the follow-up with the homework that I need to do? Is the okay, did you revise your lessons for the next day? Or is this like a project that it's been let's say not progressing in it, or whatever? So just I go ask what's going on. The communication of the parents with the teacher is essential. I don't wait until I see the first
Mhm.
semester
Yes.
grades, and then I
Yes.
see, oh, what's going on? No, from the first month, I try to just see what's going on. I ask my kid, so what are you learning? What did you do? Just give me a little bit summary of the homework. So what is the homework? Even if your kid doesn't communicate with you, because most kids is not gonna come to you and said, oh mom, I got a 60 in that assignment and I got a 10. No, you gonna get the surprise at the end and see, oh my god, my grade is 60. Oh, that semester is gone, so I have to to see what's going to do with the next semester. No, I don't wait. Even if he doesn't communicate with you, so your kid doesn't share with you stuff, they, let's say, take a month, not more than that, and then try to communicate with the teacher. Say everything is okay, just a heads up. Because sometimes the teacher, let's say, we can separate the parents into 2 groups. The group that likes the homework and likes to have some times and can support the kids and can follow up, and the part that they can't because of their jobs, because of a lot of responsibilities that they have and everything. Just a quick email, it will get you some points that you can go and see what's the support, what the follow-up that I need to do. Basically, that's it.
That's so good. So parents, I hope you're hearing. These are teachers who are also parents who are telling you what they do, right? So don't wait. The surprise factor is not good in the case of French immersion, French learning, right? You want to be able to identify where the gaps may not even be yet, but where they could form. It's like almost like, this is my random example, but like a cavity, right? We go to the dentist for the checkups so that the cavity doesn't develop, right? So you check up, okay, let me give you some pointers on how to do better care, right? Do some more flossing, do a little extra rinsing, and that cavity won't develop. So that is where we want you to jump in there. So we have a question, Dorcas. I want you to unmute if you can. It's actually about to be Q&A time. Chantel, we will post the meeting. We will send a recording out. Okay, so Dorcas, go ahead. Feel free to unmute and share.
Yeah, I just unmute. Thank you for this. My home question is, based on my own experience, some of the grades, how do you help a kid when they say they're not doing well? But the grade home is not reflecting it. Especially for you that you don't understand French, and it's at the end of the time they're like, oh, it's bad, but all the homework, the grade they're bringing in is not reflecting the grade. How do we explain that?
So if I'm gonna paraphrase, it's what I'm hearing is, how do you as a parent interpret if the assignments and the tests that you saw the marks for aren't reflected positively? Let's say the tests and the assignments were good grades, but the report card says
Like
the opposite.
they're doing they're doing dictation in class. The kid is getting 27 over 30, 14 over 15. Like
Okay.
all the basic things they're bringing home to us is there, but at the end of the time, they said the kid will struggle. How do we reflect that? That is personal experience.
Sure. Yeah, I'll let one of our teachers take that, right? So what if what you see is not what you get on that report card? What do we say? What conversation do we have?
I didn't understand what is that?
Yeah, so the issue is what the parent, let's say she has seen good results from dictate, from tests, her child is doing well from what she has seen come home. But the report card and the comments are saying, no, they're not doing
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the marks and the grades are good, but the report cards show something else, like in the
What I
comments?
understand. Dorcas, is that right?
It's a bit confusing. There's a part that I
Yes.
can understand here.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes.
Yep.
I heard.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like when you grade kids in school, they bring it home. Like I'll
Yes.
give you an example. Like what is common my kid bring home is like their dictations.
Yes.
Like some of the math, some of the stuff they do, they bring it home, the grades. Then at the end of like they do report like different sections, right? Like
Yes.
where I am, they do 3 reports. Like let's say like when it's time for the report cards, okay, you said, oh, this kid is not doing well in class, but the grade you are giving them to bring home is not reflecting that. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the time, like maybe some problem, they say you try to fix it. Like parents and teacher, when they work hand in hand to help the kid, I support that it helps. Then at the end of the time here, you feel like some of the report you're bringing home is getting more proficient in class, is doing well. Then at the end of the time, the final report say, call the parent and say they don't think the kid will do well in the class, that he can't comprehend it, but the parent could not pick that up from all the grades that's been coming in over the year. How do a parent help the kid in that area, not knowing they are not doing well, and the reports are not showing they are not doing well?
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of it's a special use case, I would say, guys. What can you go back to the teacher and say? We'll say, hey, like, it's not matching up. What does Dorcas do or say?
Oh, of course, you have every right to go to the teacher and say, I've been seeing some work from my kid and I was seeing some grades that it doesn't reflect the grades that I see in the report card. Could you please explain to me and show me the work that my kid's been doing in class or in homeworks or whatever, and then let me see what's the difference between the grades that I see for his assignments or homeworks or whatever, and the grade that I see in the report card.
And sometimes the comment is like general and global. The comment is not like, so you say, okay, he's good in French, but he's not very good. But you say like a global thing with the oral communication and grammar and vocab. So the comment is like general. It's not like the grade. He has good grades, but in general, he's still not enough. I'm
Exactly,
talking
I
about the
agree with
comments.
you, Maisa.
The comment is something global about the person. So you say it's not like a grade, it's not something specific.
And it depends on the teacher too. So some teachers get personalized comments on
Yeah.
each kid and what she sees in it, what she observes, and what's the next step for them to do. And some teachers get the general, like Maisa was saying, the general
profile, the profile of the students in general shows
Exactly.
like this. Then she write like this. Like she's not so objective. She doesn't take only en considération just the grades. She's
in
the
consideration
profile,
yeah.
the whole profile. I think so.
So the explanation from the teacher should give you how she graded or give your kid that grade, depending on what. So was she taking all the grades and put it as is, or just seeing how his attitude in class and everything concerning all the activities that are doing in class, not only the written ones? So it really depends on the teacher and how she graded him and what the comments was concentrated on or based on, let's say.
And because I have a little more insight, I want you to hear this, Dorcas, is because before you guys joined, we were speaking very candidly, and we're very happy to hopefully continue that conversation here out loud. Is we discussed, and these educators said, yeah, sometimes a challenging year does not mean you pull your child out of the French program. It doesn't mean, oh my goodness, this is so challenging, even if, right? We don't control, like I said, every single school or every single teacher. Even if the teacher says, not sure if it's for them, we had a discussion. It doesn't mean that that is the sign to pull them out. There's maybe different questions you can go back and ask, just get a deeper dive into, okay, where exactly do they need to improve? Of course, if they go through a whole school year and it's terrible and they hate it and it's miserable because they don't understand anything and it's just the worst time. But I actually know your son because I taught him and I told you differently. Like he understands, he has the comprehension, right? He's just getting started. So what would you say, maybe, I want to hear from Anne, grade 3 French immersion, which is so difficult. What could a parent, if they're getting that recommendation, it doesn't mean it may not be the right way for someone to go, but what if they think, man, I think my kid deserves another year to give it a shot? What would you say?
I always say the same thing to my parents with struggling students. I always say, give them more time. Let me work with them. And then I'll let you know where we're at. But because there's kids that are, I call them late clicker, where things click for them later. And maybe they have a later birthday in the year. So maybe they need to get more mature, and then things click in, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, they're okay. And the only thing, when I have a really, really low student, I always say to the parents, I say, well, we don't have to rush this, but I want them to keep an eye on the child's mental health. Because if struggling in a class is affecting their mental health, then it's a whole different conversation. But if they're working and they're happy to come to school, then I say, I'm happy to work with them as long as they are happy. But yeah, so that's where I have my conversations with parents. Keep an eye on, how is your child talking about school? Are they happy to come to school? Do you have a lot of tears in the morning or not? And
Yeah,
then
I like what you say. It's all about
Yeah.
mental health. This is what you say. It's exactly. So that's why I'm working with in the same school with where is my son is learning there. So, and I always speak to my colleagues, the teachers of my son. So I said, please give him confidence. And when they give him confidence, he say, oh, I like this teacher. And he get like good grades because this friendly, like you said, this friendly conversation between a teacher and a parent is so, so important. So they see, as a mother, I don't say, oh, why? And I know because I'm a teacher too. So I say, oh, Mr. Tom, he likes you the most. My son likes you the most. He said you're the best teacher, but please give him some confidence more. I want him to improve in this and this. And then he go to the class and he show his love to my son, and my son changed, and suddenly he said, Mom, I want to be a geographic teacher. Oh, really? Yes, because I like Mr. Tom. So this friendly conversation is so
Right.
important. Don't ever go to a teacher and say, oh, why? And don't be angry because the teachers are also humans, and they will go to your son and say, oh, his mama is is horrible. And when the mama is nice or the parents are nice, they will say, she appreciates what I'm, so I will work hard with her children, because we are humans also. Teachers or parents are humans. And they
Oh,
need,
so true.
yeah.
I could not agree with you more, Maisa. Like, and you know, making sure that child too is happy to come to school, that's half the battle. Because if you connect with that student on a personal level, going back to, you know, finding what makes them tick. Okay, you like this, you don't like this, and just finding the student's interest and connecting with them on a personal level, then you're building that rapport between the student and the teacher, and then they're happy to learn. And then when they're happy to learn, even if they're struggling, the rest will come. They'll be happy to work with you, they'll be more confident, and it will just be a positive experience for everyone.
Because you're dealing with a human, so you like you said, and you should take care about the mental health before everything else. Because we are teachers, we had to be sometimes clown, like to have fun with them. Sometimes we have to be like actor. Oh my God. And like face, sometimes we have to be doctors and psychologists. So it's not, if you are focusing only on the information that you are going to give, they don't care because they can't find it on Google. It's the way you are giving this information, how much you like Nasreen said, for example, before she starts, for example, the reading text, she let them see a movie related to this, and then they are interested, and she asked, what is your opinion? And she is trying to involve them. When they are involved, they will give. I try with this in the high school where the students was, oh my God, where they were so difficult to deal with it. But when they are involved, they change. They change, actually. They give, like, because I care about their personality. I see the keys of everyone. I don't want to say like, you're not good enough. I say, guys, I don't care about the grade. I want you to just to improve, even if small steps.
Yeah.
So the parents also should say the same thing for the kids. Oh, bravo, because you were 60, now you are 65. It's not like, oh, you fail and why? And I will talk to your teacher and there is like a war. And no, okay, from 60 to 65, it's okay. That next time it will be 70. So don't be ever like a pessimist with a child. It's not good.
The baby steps matter.
Yeah, the baby steps, exactly.
Very good.
So,
No, I love that. And I want to
yeah.
Nesreen, I'll let you answer, then we'll get to you.
I'm
Evelyn,
sorry.
see your hand. Okay, see your hand, Evelyn. Nesreen, go ahead. Then Evelyn, your question is next. Okay, thank you, Dorcas. Great question.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I guess my husband and I are a little different. We don't speak French, but we're very involved parents. And I'm starting to feel like maybe we might be a bit too involved for the school. So, an example, my son, the teacher yelled at him and he couldn't finish a test. Part of the test ended up in the garbage, blah, blah, blah. I went to go meet with the principal. Principal spoke to the teacher and confirmed that the teacher was a bit too heightened, and a reaction to a child just asking for an extra piece of paper to write a test was not an appropriate one that he's shown. So the student will get another opportunity to finish the test. It's been like a month and a half, no progress. Every time I ask, there's a new but valid explanation. So,
to take your time.
Teacher's not well, terminally ill, had to leave school. Okay. Principal will figure it out. Still no response. I asked the new teacher. She's like, oh, I've seen a whole bunch of tests and assignments that have been given back to the students from the old teacher, but I still haven't seen this particular test. And I know we haven't seen it because I know what it was supposed to be about. Like, we make a point to try our best to read all the emails so we know what the subject of the upcoming test would be so we can support our child at home. Today, I spoke to the principal. He said he doesn't think that the report card that's coming home, that particular test was taken into account, but he has no way of proving that. And I said, well, we will not accept his report card until somebody sits down with us and shows us this. And then he said, oh, don't worry, his report card is good. But unless he's getting an A in math or a B plus, when I see the report card, I don't want to accept anything lower. And I just trying to figure out like what is happening. They ask for parents to be involved, and then they basically want to shut you down. And it's like, I feel like every time, I drop my child off and then I have to speak to an admin person or a principal, I don't want to be bothering them, but I also feel like I'm doing my part, right? For a household where we don't speak French, my child is fluent. And like the other parents said, you get comments on a progress report card that makes no sense based on your child's grade. Basically, the teacher was saying in the last report card that he didn't even think my child understands French. But then you also said he speaks French really well compared to other kids. Is it that he's not understanding the subject? I inquired. And I said, we will be supporting him more in math if that's the case. But it's like, as soon as I push the teacher a bit, I see the grades go up. And then when I asked my child, he's like, well, there's not as much yelling in class, so I'm able to concentrate. And this yelling wasn't even because my child was misbehaving. This teacher is known for just yelling. Where another child who has anxiety, he would yell at the kid for squeezing his anxiety ball. So my question is, what can we do as parents? The report card is coming home if it's not already in the portal, and this teacher has disappeared. I've asked other parents, but I don't want to put the responsibility on other parents. So what I wanted to know from other parents was, did your child bring home the test on the fraction? If your child did and mine hasn't, then is the teacher giving him a 0? Like, I don't, like, what do I do?
So this is a unique one, but yeah, and feel free to jump in.
Can I just ask what grade is your child in?
He's just finishing grade 1. Just finished. So tomorrow is the last day. And this is the Monavenir board, so it's French only. It's not even immersion. And I might add, something really strange happened. Literally the day after I met with the principal, my child came home with a certificate for like being a good student and working really well together with the teacher. It made no sense to me. Like, it's like,
What do we think?
My opinion, like there's a lot of things that you need to know about what's going on in class. I think this is a bit an individual case, like a particular one, I think. Maybe I can't say, like, it's very hard. For me, I'm speaking for myself. It's very hard to let you know what was going on, or what you did. In my opinion, you did what you're supposed to do. So you supported your kid, and from what you observed, from what he's getting from the school or his assignments or his progress or whatever, you seeing that his progress is very well. Although this kind of situation with the teacher about his exams or everything, so I think there's a lot of factors that we don't know about and we can't know about because we're not in class. So there's a lot of factors in it that we can't really decide or tell you what could be the case in this particular situation, because there's a lot of factors in it. I don't want to answer the question without giving you like an idea or a solution, but you did the right thing. If I were in your position, I will go and speak to the principal and see what's going on. I need some answers. Please let me see this, let me see that. And ask the very good questions, which grade it is. The grade is grade 1. In those grades, I did not teach those grades, so I can't,
Levels.
yeah, because I can't tell you exactly. Is different. Those grades, when they are very little like this, it's different. The dynamic of the class is different. The work in class is different. And we have to know a very important factor. What are the students in class are? Is there
Sorry, I
special?
don't, if, I think, sorry, Anne. So I guess when I met with the principal, so I dropped my child off at the school in the morning. I was visibly upset, but I tried to keep my cool. And I asked the secretary if the principal could call me, because we were either going to pull our child from the school or I was going to escalate it. Because this teacher is known for yelling, and now my child couldn't even write a test. Between me waiting for the principal to call me back, he had spoken to the teacher. So by the time I showed up to the school, that's when the principal confirmed that the teacher said my child didn't do anything wrong and that he shouldn't have yelled to the level for what the child asked. The solution the principal offered was that my child would get a chance to finish the test. I haven't seen that even the incompleted test, and now report card is coming. So the teacher is sick, that's fine. But I'm trying to figure out, as teachers or as principal, is this good enough just to tell a parent that, oh, well, the teacher is sick? But if he's sick, how is he able to send the other assignments and tests to the new teacher? But my child, this one test, he couldn't write it, and then nobody knows where it is.
So you see that you say that they didn't give him the time to finish his test?
He never did. My child confirmed, the principal confirmed. And I was okay with it to a point, because if the teacher is sick, where he has now forcefully had to retire, I wasn't going to be inhumane, right? And get upset. So then now I'm asking the principal, what is going to happen since he didn't finish the test? And
Yeah.
today, when he's just telling me, oh, it's not going to be a factor in the report card, but you can't just tell, I'm not the type of parent that you can just be like, oh, everything is okay. I need to see the evidence.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what can I do next? Because report card is coming. And I am,
So you want to see the test. This is what you want, to see the test, right? And what he yeah.
Or to get some sort of a confirmation that he didn't get a 0 on the test, because the teacher has done the report card from home and return all the marked assignments.
So you have no proof. You have no proof or evidence.
Correct.
So you know the result, but you need a proof, and it's your right. You need a proof. Yeah.
I don't have the result. Like, the test was on fraction, and he hasn't brought anything on fraction about a test.
Yeah, I know. You will have the result.
I would say wait until you get the report card. This will be one of the evidence that is going to reflect what you have in mind of the grade that you are expecting and the grade that you're going to see physically in the report card. And after that, do your action, because you don't know till now what the grade that will be in the report card. So wait and see.
Sometimes the teachers make like diagnostic tests for the children, and they don't send it to the parents. They don't like to share it with the parents. It's only for them to see if he's improving or not. So here the objective is not to see if he will finish or not. Here the objective is just to check on the students. Maybe it's like this, because as teachers, we don't share everything with the parents. Sometimes we have to know something about the student, and we don't want the parents to be involved. Later they will be involved. So it's not maybe they are not trying to hide something from you, because they are taking these like notes for them to evaluate your child later. Maybe it could be like this, especially if you know the teacher has a good reputation, or you know from the colleagues or the friends, from other parents, if the teacher is good and has good reputation, then the problem maybe is like accident or something. It's not likely. I don't know actually.
And to be honest with you, just to agree with you, Maisa, the response of the teacher confirming that yes, there was yelling, and the confirmation of this, and get you some certain of like confirmation that he did not deny anything of what happened. So he confessed and said, yes, that's what happened in class, and he couldn't finish because of that. So I don't think, like Maisa said, most of the time, like they are not gonna hide anything from you. Sometimes every teacher do it his way. Sometimes they grade kids differently. But I would say wait and see the report card, and then maybe after, whatever the result is, maybe have a conversation if it needed.
Sometimes we give the test back to the student later
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
This is what we do with the small kids. We say, you didn't finish your work, come to another table with the small one. Let's finish it now, because we know when they are on pressure, they can't like work. Especially with the kids, like Nisreen said, I'm not working with the kids, but I see this with my colleagues. Every child, we take it alone, we work with him alone. It's not exactly the same. Sometimes he doesn't like to finish the test or to do anything. The kids sometimes are tired, or so I don't know actually.
Yeah, it's possible too, because it's grade one that the
Yeah.
teacher sat one-on-one and she did a different assessment. So that's why you didn't see the actual paper test. I mean, I taught grade one for many years. A lot of it is oral testing, one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's used to ask question and have the child show their understanding. So maybe it was done just in a different manner, and that's why you haven't seen the paper, and maybe that's why your child has said, I have not completed it. Maybe it was just done differently, also to help with the anxiety part of it. So it doesn't mean it wasn't done. But yeah, I agree with both Maisa and Nazreen. Like, it's hard to really comment on that because we weren't there, we weren't part of the situation. So wait for the report card, see what the grade is, and then try to communicate with the teacher, copy the principal so everybody's aware, and take it from there.
And I would like just to add something. Don't be afraid. Like I was just gonna say something about just the previous conversation that we had. There's two, in my opinion, there's two words that is applicable for the kid and the parents. So the two words that are mistakes and struggling. So whenever we hear from a teacher to us, the parents, that our kids are struggling, oh my God, a big fear that is appearing in front of us. And for
Nasreen,
the
she
kid,
wrote, yeah, she wrote that the teacher is gone and in the medical retirement. The teacher
oh,
is
okay,
not
he
here.
already took
Okay.
a retirement. Yeah.
Okay.
And the fear for the students that he makes mistakes. So struggling and makes mistakes, there are two words that we should not fear of them. Struggling, it's okay. I can struggle now, and baby steps, step by step, I will be doing some progress. And from the mistakes that the kid is doing, I will put my point or the areas that needs to be put more effort so I can work on them. So from their mistakes, it give us an idea of what we should work with the kid for. So let them do mistakes and take that fear from them, and take the fear from the parents when they hear they are struggling. It's
I
not a
don't think the
problem.
principal, I don't think the principal can help because the teacher is not here and the principal was not in the class. He doesn't know actually what is going on.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
one of
not
those
sure.
unique scenarios. It's almost like the domino effect, but not in your favor. But I'm with Nesveen and all of you. Let's wait for that report card. Evelyn, what if tomorrow you write me and you say, Elise, A plus, girl? And I said, yeah, A plus, because you know, it's one thing, you're doing the right thing, as we all agree. You're advocating for your child. Unfortunately, teacher has medical leave, so that's out of our hands. And now it's like, oh, the conflict didn't really get resolved, but
Yeah.
it's in your child's favor that next year is he's on the brink of that. So with you in his corner with this kind of attitude and this kind of, you know, approach to wanting the answers, you ask the questions, you want to know what he's doing well at or why something is not going so well. That is where I believe we'll all support you in staying consistent with doing. This one scenario, man, there's a lot happening or happened. But we can't look back. Let's look forward, right? Let's get that report card and let's push for next year to have a solid start and to keep that the whole way through. So thank you guys. We don't have, I mean, does anyone have a pressing question? Are you like, Elise, I came on the call just to ask this question? Because we are going to wrap. If there's no one else right now, what I'm going to do, I'm also going to share with you guys, if any of the parents on this call are new to our environment, this is your first time interacting with me, what I'm going to do is drop a link in the chat, okay? That is a chat, a link to have a conversation with me to discuss if your child has a certain gap in their learning. If you're finding that I want them to be improving in a certain area at least, but I need time to talk it through and see what you recommend, use that link that is in the chat. That is for new parents who have never been. Most of you met some of you already, but if you are brand new and you want to have a conversation, reserve dedicated time, the link is in the chat. So we want to thank everyone for coming on today's call. This was an amazing conversation. I feel like whenever we have conversations, we could go 2 hours. We could do a seminar, guys, and we may one day. Maybe we will do that one day, but want to thank Madame Nazreen, Madame M, Madame Maisa for just being incredible. They've been amazing support to a lot of your children during the school year in our personal programs, have built their confidence, closed reading comprehension gaps, and just focused on holistic French learning. And we are grateful for them. So we have Evelyn with one last question. And you know what? This will be how we close. We're going to let each teacher just give very quickly their number one tip, how parents can support their kids this summer to not lose their French. Everyone share something quickly and then we'll wrap up.
Okay, so I have some strategies like speak French if they have French friends. Let them watch some YouTubes like dessins animés, like YouTubes for their age. Read books or magazines if they care about it. The music, French music, there is many songs for kids and translated to English. They can see the subtitles on in English. French music for kids, and there are many shows in French also. many series, and many online games in French, many sites for online
Yes.
online learning. It's like games, and you will they make quiz, and it helps a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah, go to the library, pick French books from there and read them. I had once an idea for the little ones in grade 1, grade 2. They start learning, label the household items in your house and let them read them and practice them.
I love that
So
one.
do some games with them, cook some French recipes. Like
we
there's
mess with them.
endless ideas that you can think of around the house, in the house, outside the house. Just speak French, hear French, practice French. That's the main thing.
I like the idea of cooking, Leo, because
Yeah.
they like creation. Like,
That's what I
yeah.
used to do sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, I do this with my son. Tell me this ingredient in French, not in English. What is this?
Exactly,
And he say, I
exactly. So
forgot.
they will
Okay,
know.
go and search in Google. I will not make this till you tell me what is it in French.
Exactly, that's a richer
I say,
vocabulary.
okay.
So the eggs, the milk, the flour, whatever ingredients that you have, you will have them in French. So this is practice too. So
Yeah.
That's a very nice, authentic way to use your French too with the recipe. Love that.
Yeah.
I always tell my parents, take bedtime and turn bedtime into, a mini French lesson. Even if I say, snuggle with your child, they read one page, you read one page, and you're still learning French and reading French, and they're having that quality time with the parent too. So that's always a good one with the little ones as well.
I will add something on your idea, and if you don't read French, you can go to a French website that's called Bookly. So they have a lot of books, and you get the chance that he reads one, and there's an audio that you can click on, and the computer will read for you the second page. So now he can hear French and read the other page. So
Yeah, make it fun, because
Yep.
that's
Make it.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the right thing, that make it fun, because French is hard, and if you don't make it fun,
yeah.
it will not work.
Amazing. So I know I'm just writing the name of Bukili in the chat. That will be something you guys have to Google, right? And just find that website. But we will wrap here. This has been so good. I'm leaving feeling energized. Parents, congrats, you made it to the end of the school year. Teachers, congrats, you guys made it to the end of the school year. Let's use it as a celebration, okay? So summertime, yes, is time for rest and repose, but we're also making sure the French is still being sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Okay? We want to make sure our kids are strong in September. So once again, use the link for the chat if you need to speak to me directly. But I wish all of you guys an amazing, restful summer, and we hope to see you in class. Take care,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Au revoir. Bye bye.
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 Au revoir. Bye.